Peace. Think fast. Happy. Nah, matter of fact, this video came like exactly in the moment. Like I was typing this to somebody, and then I was like, wait, I need to make this a video for everybody. I was about to type, your drive for information determines how much information you get. Like, people ask me questions to things, and it's things that they could go and Google, or things that, or they ask questions in a manner like where they're so helpless, and like, like, oh, I can't find this out, can't find this out. But, and me personally knowing what really, how our mind works, but if it was a pair of J's that was exclusive and you was looking for them, you would, search all over the web for that. Or if it was a purse, or, whatever it is that you really like, you would dig through the internet for that. But, meditation, oh man, how I meditate, what's the steps to that? And it's like, it's so helplessness. And two, it's the part of that mind frame that we all been coached into, of like needing that preacher or that person to just always tickle that ear, and always looking for somebody to just talk to us about it, instead of just trying to learn it and then practice it. But I thought about that, like, your drive for information determines the information. Like, when people wonder, like, where you find all this and that, I got a strong drive for information, so it's gonna come to me some kind of way. But if you sitting there and, like, with universal frequencies, what the color purple mean? What is a root chakra? And it's like, if your drive for information is that low to where you just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna just ask him for the simplest things and for everything. Like, you got a Google. You got a thing called Google. You got so many people. You got people that I'm learning from, you know what I'm saying, that has this information, even on bigger scales, that, that you could go ask, and, coming to me. And don't get this twisted, of course. I use my YouTube channel with views for support, but I also know the divineness in that, where, like, I'm gonna get the support as I'm supposed to get. So I don't mind if you go and, look at other people's channels or research other information. I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I'm trying to raise up, you know, more teachers, master students slash teachers, you know what I'm saying? But more people who can learn independently, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to coach people and teach people how to look to me, like, like trying to raise some cult, like, everybody hail universal frequencies. What we do today, universal frequencies. What we do tomorrow, universal frequencies. Like, I'm not trying to start no cult or none of that, you know what I'm saying? And if you dealing with somebody who's kind of, not say making you or forcing you to go through them, but in essence, that kind of doesn't teach you to be your own teacher, or to, to learn things on your own, you might want to rethink, getting information from that person or being guided by that person. But your drive for information determines how much information you get, And matter of fact, another thing too, like with people asking me questions, if your questions don't get answered, now sometimes, yeah, it may be me just going with the flow, and matter of fact, trying to keep my own vibration right, but like, if I don't answer your question, in most cases, it's because you're asking a question to a video that I did, where I explained it to the T, or I gave enough information to send you in the right direction, but I already did a video on it. Then I'm not gonna answer that question in depth, because, this is how I see it, lens of me through, if I sat there and I got like 500 videos, and I sat there and I put in that work, that time, my precious energy and time to make that video, and then I made that video for a reason, so it could be there for you. And I understand that there's a bunch of videos, like, oh, I don't feel like looking through 500 videos. Oh, I don't feel like sitting down for 5 minutes of meditation. Well, then you speaking on what it is. And if you don't feel like looking for the information, if you don't feel like sitting down meditating, then you get what you get, you know? Like, because one of the things, too, was, like, a lot of people, have questions about things. And honestly, the first answer to most people's questions are, what would answer their question would would be or let me say it like this: meditation. Everything starts with meditation. Because if you were meditating, you would have the self-realizations to realize, like, all right, I need to dig deeper, or I need to, I need to do this, I need to do that. And when you're not meditating, you're running around like a chicken with his head chopped off, like, oh wait, panic, what I'm gonna do, oh this and that, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, you find yourself in a panic mode about your spiritual growth. Like, man, there's no this and that. The energy messing with me. It's meditation, you know. And then what else? Again, back to that. Like, oh, but man, I gotta do this. I work this and that. Well, you basically telling Source you don't have time for Source. You don't have time for your inner being. So you get what you. So the reason why, oh man, this and that and this and that is because you think that 5 to 10 minutes is too much time for Source. You think that's, it's taken away from all your other things that I guess you deem so much more important than, clearing your mind. So, you're doing those things. But, you gotta realize, that the universe not only deals with your affirmations but also deals with your actions. If you really want to learn things but you feel like, oh, I don't want to look through all those videos, I don't want to look through through all that information, or I don't want to Google and search. And trust me, I understand we done came up in this age of the internet, calculators, all this that done handicapped a lot of us, but gotta break out of that. Especially if you really want this information. It's not just, it can fall into your lap. I caught myself, because really it can fall in your lap, but it comes with your drive and you wanting to manifest it. Because like crystal information, it falls into my lap, but it's because of my drive for it. It's because I'm so eager and interested in the subject that I make sure, like, I'm searching this and that, and I'm not trying to, because a lot of people too, what they be looking for is for somebody to tell them the perfect people for all situations, like, like, hey, Universal, what book to read, but yes, I could give you the books, but the books I'm reading is a part of my experience, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You want to develop your own experience, because say, for instance, like, by going out there myself, and like, all right, pick up this book, all right, got a little bit of information, but I don't want that, this and that, like, I'm sifting and sorting through information to find the certain things, and coming to a place where I find the books that I really like and the books that I want to look at. But a lot of it is about your own research. So again, how much information you have or you're getting depends on your own drive for the information itself. If you don't really have a serious drive for the information or a serious drive to meditate, then you get what you get, cause and effect, laws of the universe, or karma, you get what you deserve. You putting out, you're barely looking for information, so you're barely getting information. You feel like meditation is so strenuous and hard to deal with, so your life is strenuous and hard to deal with. It's like, just gotta realize. And again, it's not me trying to chase people away from answering questions, because honestly, that's what I love. Like, you ask anybody, but too, I'm more of an interactive person. I keep it real. Like, I like to be sitting down with a person and be, like, this and that, because the typing is just, it's too long for things that you just gotta really like channel, and like things coming out when I talk on those subjects. Typing doesn't give channeling or clear cognizance justice. In essence, like, that clear cognizance work better like with speaking, and not like typing. So that's another thing too, where I'm not, you know, too into answering questions on that level, because too, it be done took up all my time, and I could have did some videos, just smoothly done some videos that you could watch, that could have possibly, answer those questions or whatever. But again, I don't mind answering questions, but it's just like, the questions that simply could be answered by you either digging a little deeper on my YouTube channel or a little deeper on YouTube in general, or are you you know Google searching just simple things, like what is a chakra? Like, I mean, come on, Wikipedia, and that's the thing, like feeling, well, like, nah, just all right if you scared, and that's the thing, all right, but I don't know who's right or this and that. Just to be real, who's to say I'm right on everything I'm saying, So you gotta go and listen, watch my video, watch so and so video, read this book, check out this article, you know, have a conversation with this person, like use all of that, and come up with your own conclusions, your own realizations. We're all uniquely different, you know what I'm saying? So definitely want to go about your growth, in the fact of, you get what you put out. And if you're barely researching or you're barely looking, then you're gonna barely get information, So that's just wanted to speak on that. You gotta have the drive, If you want to know why I'm at where I'm at, is because I had the drive, And of course, I understand that my drive is different from others because I went through the dark night of the soul that basically stumped the foot on the gas as far as my the acceleration of my ascension process. Some of us haven't been through enough, so we kind of coasting, and things ain't got to that level for us yet. We're all different on that aspect too. But that's all I wanted to share. The the amount of information that you have and that you are getting is due to the drive behind you wanting the information. Now, do you really have the drive to get the information? You're really gonna get a lot of information. But if you don't have that drive, and if you're like one little small thing that's like, you feel like I gotta ask so and so, and it's not like you go too much outside of your own inner being, Matter of fact, I had this conversation with my brethren, and I was like, like it's you're saying things or asking things that you can answer yourself, and that's another thing. That's a waste of energy for both parties, for me as somebody, as a consultant, and as the person who's asking for the consultation or asking for the questions. It's a waste of both of our time if you're asking a question that you're intuitive, that intuitively, and that your intuition and inner self, you already done answered it, but you kind of just asking again, in essence, or asking outside of yourself, like, and again, me on my growth, and I spoke on this, like, well, my intuition will tell me something, but I'm still like, going overriding and trying to see what else something, and it's like, nah, man, my intuition, my inner guidance then gave me that first answer already, so I don't have to go outside. And then back to the other point, and if you're not getting answers from your inner guidance, it's because you need to meditate. Meditation, like, honestly, like, before you even ask me a question. Matter of fact, that's the thing too. Like, it should be like, like, I'm here for those questions that were like, you done did your meditation. Like, I'm like, think of me like House. If y'all not familiar with the little show House, on used to come on TV, little series with the Doctor House, Walk with the Cane, and he would only handle like these very serious, situations, like diagnosis that all the other doctors just couldn't figure out, things of this nature. And that's kind of how, of course, I'm gonna help you figure out, the little things, if I can and when I can. But for the most part, I really enjoy, and what I'm really, and what I have the skill set for is to dig into the things that where you may have asked a whole bunch of other people about it, and they, might have not gave you, some. I ain't say they haven't given you no good insight, but like the insight that might have, helped you or that you're looking for. are deep enough, or they have a perspective that that may have not pushed you along the way. Well, my perspective, and that's what I'm here for too. Deal with the situations that are deeper than just what is a chakra. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, man, I had this happen. I saw this. I had this dream, and and then this happened and that happened. Like, I deal with that type of stuff. More of a scenario person too. Like, not just with dry information like a cyclopedia. Like but like dealing with scenarios and situations like, oh, I've been feeling this vibe yesterday, and then this manifested, and it, I deal with listening to those type of stories to analyze and help people know, well, all right, man, get your piece of pie right and do that. But like back to the thing, like with House, like House doesn't walk around, trying to cure people's common colds and headaches and and dealing with sprained ankles and things of this nature. Because for one, they got a bunch of other doctors and information out there for those patients. You know what I'm saying? And he deals with the stuff that there's not information, which he knows that he has the particular skill set to help with that other people may not be able to help with. And that's what I do, and that's what I'm here for, to deal with those things. You know what I'm saying? That you can't, to deal with the things that only really universal frequencies could deal with, in essence. Like the type of information and just the type of information that you could really only get from me, in essence. And I say that because that's why I had to, like, get from my being, not from Carl Ray, the ego. That guy doesn't exist. That guy only exists whenever I'm doing videos and being a little playful and connecting a little bit. I'll be walking my ego out on the leash. I let the dragon, have a little fun. But for the most part, it's about the spirit. But yeah, your information you're getting is all about, your drive forward. If you don't have no drive for the information, you might not have no information. But if you got that drive to, universal frequencies, he ain't answer me back, or he ain't, bam, I'm gonna go here, there, this and that. Matter of fact, cause I have situations where people done like got mad at. You know what I'm saying? I only laugh, and I could laugh at it cause they ask questions. Well, two, they not only you're asking a question I answer already, but then you're coming at me in a certain way where, all right, I could obviously tell that you don't watch my stuff. Like, say for instance, a person came at me like, oh yeah, I watch all your videos and this and that, but then said and did something that obviously proved that they don't watch a lot of my videos. So it's like, and that's too, where, if you are a person that put out content, or deal with anything where you get feedback, man, don't let the negative, like, people, matter of fact, they're the contrast to help you stay up, you know what I'm saying? But don't pay attention to none of that and deal with none of that. Matter of fact, I remember I had having to catch myself early in my growth, because I used to worry about, like, oh man, this person commented bad, or they didn't like this video, and feeling, it's like, nah, people gonna do it. And matter of fact, that's our jobs, to have a vibrational signature. Some of us, are on all different parts of our growth, you know what I'm saying? And some of us, you know, gonna have different point of views, in essence, or different perceptions on different situations. And that's the beautifulness to the growth, you know what I'm saying, in our physical existence and our physical experience. Peace, happy now. Now's the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now is a vibe.